Thank you, thank you, thank you. Thank you. Good evening, everyone. It is good to see you. Welcome to Dickens Inn Live, a holiday music extravaganza. Let's clap it up. Woo-woo! So glad that you all were able to come out tonight who are here in the sanctuary, and we know that there are many folks joining us online as well. This is such a blessing, as I mentioned on Sunday during the announcements and worship, that we are able to gather for Dickens Inn this year. Yes, it is different, but it is a wonderful, wonderful next step towards hopefully next year in the fellowship hall with food. Clap that up. Yes. From our lips to God's ears. As we continue into this evening, you'll notice several of the traditions of our Dickens Inn that we have had in the fellowship hall for so many years. One of the wonderful traditions is not a thing, but a person. And that person is the master of the inn, Ole Nelson. If you watched last year our Dickens Inn online, you saw him give the welcome and share some history about Dickens Inn, and we thought it would be a good way to start this evening as well. So I want to turn it over now to Ole Nelson, the master of the inn.
Good evening. Welcome to the Dickens Inn. In 1982, when Reverend Dennis DeLaCure came to Gainesville, Florida and joined the FUMC, he brought with him a tradition that started in Tampa called Dickens Inn. He developed this event in order to cultivate a church family Christmas experience and did so using an Old English Charles Dickens theme. He also loved the Florida State Seminoles. But we're Christians and we forgave him, and we loved him dearly. But that's another story for another time. Fresh-cut greens were essential to Dickens Inn. In the first many years that we held here, we would gather together, go out to a farm, cut down and load greens. We'd come back, string them together into long, leafy boughs, and then those who were fearless would climb the ladders and string them very carefully across the lights that hung from the ceiling in the old fellowship hall. The rest of us carefully strung them along the walls. The pinnacle of the decoration was, of course, and still is, our Christmas tree. It has been a long tradition, and we cherish it every year. While we no longer collect the grains in the greenery each year, Fellowship Hall is decorated to the hilt and beautifully sets the stage for the Dickens Inn. The transformation during Advent season fills the hall with spirit of Christmas and fills our heart with joy and leads to our tradition of Christmas and our family reunions. To start off this evening's program, we will start with our traditional Deck the Halls.
Good evening, everyone, and Merry Christmas. If you will, look at the back of your program, and you will find the words to Deck the Hall. If you will stand and let us all sing together and start off this evening with some good singing. All right, you can be seated. Every year at Dickens Inn, there is entertainment, not just singing of the Christmas carols, but entertainment from sometimes within the church and sometimes from outside of the church. There have been high school madrigal choirs, there have been children's choirs, there have been elementary school choirs. The handbell choir plays every year. The Santa Fe singers have come and sung on many occasions. One of the things about Dickens Inn that we love the most is how it displays the incredible talent that we have here at First United Methodist Church of Gainesville. And every year we get to display that at Dickens Inn, not just in our music, but in the amazing room and the amazing food that everybody brings every year. This year we have some of our favorite singers that show you just a little sample of some of the talent that we have here at First United Methodist Church. And first up is going to be Chris and Magnolia Demers, father and daughter. And then after that, the handbells are going to play a couple of pieces. And then we have Anna Farabee and Dean Brown. And then we'll close that section off with Robert B.J. Jackson. First, Chris and Magnolia Demers.
A soul cake, please good missus, a soul cake, an apple, a pear, a plum, a cherry, any good thing to make us all merry. 1 for Peter, 2 for Paul, 3 for him who made us all. God bless the master of this house and the mistress also, and all the little children around your table grow. The cattle in your stable, the dog by your front door. Well, within your gates, we wish you 10 times more. A soul cake, please good missus, a soul cake, an apple, a pear, a plum, a cherry, any good thing to make us all merry. 1 for Peter, 2 for Paul, 3 for him who made us all. Go down into the cellar, see what you can find. The barrels are not empty. Hope you will be kind. Hope you will be kind with your apple and your pear. Come no more soul until this time next year. Soul cake, please good missus, a soul cake, apple, a pear, plum, a cherry, any good thing to make us all merry. 1 for Peter, 2 for Paul, 3 for him who made us all. Streets are very dirty, my shoes are very thin. I have a little pocket to put a penny in. You haven't got a penny, hey penny will do. You haven't got a hey penny, then God bless you. Soul cake, please good missus, a soul cake, an apple, a pear, a plum, a cherry, any good thing to make us all merry. 1 for Peter, 2 for Paul, 3 for him who made us all.
First piece that we're going to play tonight you might find familiar. If you do, feel free to sing along with us. takes a lot of moving around with these bells. Hold up one of those big bells. Let's hold it up. That's one of the largest bells tonight. And he's playing them all by himself.
Children sleeping, snow is softly falling, dreams are calling like bells in the distance. We were dreamers not so long ago, but one by one we seems the magic slipped away, we'll find it all again on Christmas Day. Believe in what your heart is saying, hear the melody that's playing. There's no time to waste, there's so much to celebrate. Believe in what you feel inside, give your dreams the wings to fly. You have everything you need if you just believe. Ships go sailing to their journey's end. Destinations are where we begin again. Trains move quickly far across the sea. Trusting starlight to get where they need to be. When it seems that we have lost our way, we'll find it all again on Christmas Day. Believe in what your heart is saying, hear the melody that's playing. There's no time to waste, there's so much to celebrate. Believe in what you feel inside, give your dreams the wings to fly. You have everything you need if you just believe. If you just believe. If you just believe. If you just believe. Just believe. Just believe. Just believe.
Oh, the Magi were the prophets, and they wandered through the desert. They saw the star above them, they knew they'd find their way through the valley of the shadow with the hope of human kindness. They were strengthened by the vision of a new and better day. And the wise men spoke of peace on earth, of harmony and struggle. Know you now a cycle's gone and a new one is begun. In the weaving of your fingers, in the whisper of a love that's born again, in the weaving of your fingers, in a promise that was made that never ends. Each person is a pilgrim, yes, we all must make the journey. It seems the times are telling us to be all that we can. To help lift up the fallen, we must sow the seeds of kindness. Torches passed among us now to light the light of man. For the heart of man's a palace, and his dreams are as the sunlight. They burn away the darkness as they warm the freezing cold. As an eagle climbing higher, as a river through the canyon, the diamond star shines down upon the pathway to the soul. And the wise men spoke of peace on earth, of harmony and struggle. Know you now a cycle's gone and a new one is begun. In the weaving of your fingers, in the whisper of a love that's born again, in the weaving of your fingers, and what the earth is born and never ends, in the promise that was made that never ends, in the promise that was made that never ends.
I'm doing a little song that's called The Littlest Angel. It was recorded by Bing Crosby in 1931. There's no music for it, at least that I could find, and so my good friend George, I asked him if he could figure out the chord progression, and he did that, and so we're going to give this to you tonight. I thank you, George. Let me tell you a tale that is often told in the great celestial hall, all about an angel only 4 years old, the littlest angel of all. How all day he would play with this little box that to others had no worth. Oh, but there were treasures in this little box, the treasures he brought from earth. Just a butterfly with golden wings, a little piece of a hollow log, 2 shiny stones from a river bank, and the worn-out strap of his faithful dog. Then the angels heard that the Holy Child would be born in Bethlehem, and they all brought presents for that Holy Child, and each gift was a heavenly gem. Then the littlest angel put his little box near the presents fine and rare, and the littlest angel sat alone and cried, for his gift was so meager and bare. Just a butterfly with golden wings, a little piece of a hollow log, 2 shiny stones from a river bank, and the worn-out strap of his faithful dog. But the Lord chose the gift of the little box that a child had blessed with love, and it started glowing, and that very night it became that star up above. When you see that star as it shines on high in the great celestial hall, you will know the proudest angel in the sky is the littlest angel of all. with his butterfly with golden wings, a little piece of a hollow log, two shiny stones from a river bank, and the worn out strap of his faithful dog.
Sorry, I have to wipe my eyes on that one. Now you get to participate. If you will stand, we're going to put the words to the Christmas carols on the screen, so if you'll watch those, there are 4 verses of Angels We Have Heard on High, then I'll Be Home for Christmas, Hark the Herald Angels Sing, and then we're going to introduce a special guest after that. For a classic, I'll Be Home for Christmas.
I gotta be honest with you. I don't read music, so we repeat the last part again.
Yes.
I'll Be Home for Christmas.
Yes.
No, he wants to know if you repeat the last
You
one.
gotta, yeah.
Yes, we're going to repeat
Yes.
There's no words up here,
Yes.
so. Okay.
Yes.
Hang in there with me. This is.
I tell the singers they can sing whatever comes out of their mouth. You just never know what you're going to get at Dickens Inn. Typically, we have this wonderful little carol book that we use. It sits at every place setting at the tables. And we sing. People get to shout out which carol they want to sing. So it's a little more organized this year, a little more chaotic when we have it over in the fellowship hall. Our next carol is Hark the Herald Angels Sing. And we'll sing 3 verses. Now, before we sing our next carol, it's a very special carol because it introduces a very special person to Dickens Inn. Every year, somehow, some way, Santa Claus is able to work into his schedule. As crazy as Dickens Inn is, always is able to work it into his schedule to appear at Dickens Inn, to read "'Twas the Night Before Christmas." So, while we sing the next carol up on the housetop, I invite all of the children and those who are young at heart to join Santa down in front on the carpet. Santa's going to stay up here. If you will sit down on the carpet, we have some lights so that we can see you. So during Up on the Housetop, come on down and join us up front.
Oh, ho, 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 Merry Christmas. Yes. Oh, I forget I had my mask on. Well, tonight, first thing I want to do, how many people out there have been being good? Raise your hand. There's some people got their hands down. We'll see about that. You just keep it up till Christmas Eve. And that's what this story is about. It's the night before Christmas. That's Christmas Eve. And I will read it to you. Actually, you can help me turn the pages, I think. Okay, here we go. 'Twas the night before Christmas when all through the house not a creature was stirring, not even a mouse. The stockings were hung by the chimney with care in hopes that St. Nicholas soon would be there. The children were nestled all snug in their beds with visions of sugar plums dancing in their heads. And Mama in her kerchief and I in my cap had just settled down for a long winter's nap. When out on the lawn there arose such a clatter, I sprang from my bed to see what was the matter. Away to the window I flew like a flash, tore open the shutters and threw up the sash. The moon on the breast of the new fallen snow gave the luster of midday to objects below. When what to my wondering eyes should appear but a miniature sleigh and 8 tiny reindeer. With the little old driver so lively and quick, I knew in a moment it must be St. Nick. More rapid than eagles, his coursers they came, and he whistled and shouted and called them by name. Now Dasher, now Dancer, now Prancer and Vixen, on Comet, on Cupid, on Donder and Blitzen, to the top of the porch, to the top of the wall, now dash away, dash away, dash away all. As dry leaves that before the wild hurricane fly, when they meet with an obstacle mount to the sky, so up to the housetop the coursers they flew, with a sleigh full of toys, and St. Nicholas too. And then, in a twinkling, I heard on the roof the prancing and pawing of each little hoof. As I drew in my head and was turning around, down the chimney St. Nicholas came with a bound. He was dressed all in fur from his head to his foot, and his clothes were all tarnished with ashes and soot. A bundle of toys he had flung on his back, and he looked like a peddler just opening his pack. His eyes, how they twinkled, his dimples, how merry. His cheeks were like roses, his nose like a cherry. His droll little mouth was drawn up like a bow, and the beard of his chin was as white as the snow. The stump of his pipe he held tight in his teeth, and the smoke, it encircled his head like a wreath. But we don't do that anymore because that's not good for you, is it? No. He had a broad face and a little round belly that shook when he laughed like a bowl full of jelly. He was chubby and plump, a right jolly old elf, and I laughed when I saw him in spite of myself. A wink of his eye and a twist of his head soon gave me to know I had nothing to dread. He spoke not a word, but went straight to his work, and he filled all the stockings, then turned with a jerk, and laying his finger aside his nose, and giving a nod, up the chimney he rose. He sprang to his sleigh, to his team gave a whistle, and away they all flew like the down of a thistle. But I heard him exclaim, ere he drove out of sight, Merry Christmas to all, and to all a good night. Now I want you all to continue being good. Go to sleep early on Christmas Eve because I'll come see you right after you go to sleep, okay? And don't forget the cookies. Ho, 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 Merry Christmas.
Let's give a hand for Santa. In our next set of music, we have some other vocal talent, and we have our own George Emmanuel is going to play something for us. Andrew Natardis, Jessica Van Leer, Elvis Gomez, and then we're going to close it up with George Emmanuel.
All is well.
many moonless nights, cold and weary, with a babe inside, and I wonder what I've done. Holy Father, you have come and chosen me now to carry your Son. I am waiting in a silent prayer. I am frightened by the load I bear in a world as cold as stone. Must I walk this path alone? Be with me now. Be with me now. Breath of heaven, hold me together. Be forever near me. Breath of heaven. Breath of heaven, lighten my darkness. Pour over me your holiness, for you are holy. Breath of heaven. Do you wonder as you watch my face if another one should have hurt my place? But I offer all I am for the mercy of your plan. Help me be strong. Help me. Help me. Breath of heaven, hold me together. Be forever near me. Breath of heaven. Breath of heaven, lighten my darkness. Pour over me your holiness, for you are holy. Breath
holy night, the stars are brightly shining. It is the night of the dear Savior's birth. Long lay the world in sin and error pining, till he appeared and the soul felt its worth. A thrill of hope, the weary world rejoices, for yonder breaks a new and glorious morn. Fall on your knees, oh, hear the angel voices, oh, night divine, oh, night when Christ was born, oh, night divine, oh, night divine. Truly he taught us to love one another. His law is love and his gospel is peace. Chains shall he break, for the slave is our brother, and in his name all oppression shall cease. Sweet hymns of joy in grateful chorus raise we, let all within us praise his holy name. Christ is the Lord, sing praise to him forever, his power and glory evermore proclaim. His power and glory
I think all of the performers tonight deserve another round of applause. If you would like to hear and see more of their incredible talent, I invite you to come back on Sunday at 10:30 for our Lessons in Carol service, featuring the choir, orchestra, organ, piano, pretty much all the bells and whistles, finally, after 2 years. We're going to sing some carols, so stand up. I was going to say get off your backsides. We're going to raise it up a little bit, a little less somber. We're going to start with Walking in a Winter Wonderland. 3 verses of Walking in a Winter Wonderland. Our next carol, Joy to the World, will sing 4 verses. 4 verses.
Don't let BJ count.
He announced 3 verses, not me.
Joy to the World. To round it off, we're going to sing 3 verses of Silent Night. all be seated for just a moment, I'm going to call Pastor Beth up here, talk about the reason that we're here.
Well, I think we can all agree we have experienced a wonderful evening of holiday extravaganza music, and it's not over yet. But before it is over, another one of our Dickens Inn traditions is that we receive an offering for a particular children's cause. Over the years, it's been different things, sometimes a children's home, sometimes Metcalf Elementary. This year, it says Metcalf in your program tonight, but it is actually tonight going to be Family Promise and Fumpers, our First United Methodist Preschool Scholarship Fund. So those are the two wonderful causes that we will be receiving donations for this evening. If you have been in worship with us, you know that our new reality these days is that we don't pass the plate, but we do have some wonderful offering boxes at all the exits. So if you wouldn't mind leaving any donation that you would like to share, we will, whatever comes in, both online as well as here in our sanctuary, you can give electronically as well. We will split that down the middle for our Fumpers Scholarship Fund and for Family Promise. We'd like to show you a little bit about both of those ministries. We do definitely see our preschool as a ministry. We have a wonderful staff, a fantastic director, and we want you to hear the song of some of our fantastic children. So this is the VPK, our oldest preschoolers that are singing Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer. You can see why we love our preschool. Absolutely darling, darling, darling children and families. And speaking of children and families, we know that there are many this time of year and all during the year that need help. And Family Promise is a wonderful mission partner of ours that offers that help. Their mission is to end childhood homelessness. We oftentimes have a particular image in our mind of what homelessness is, and yet oftentimes that image is wrong. And we have been a part of Family Promise for many, many years. And this story that you're going to hear next is not from someone in our area, but Family Promises all over the nation. And this is her story, and it's not just about having families housed in houses of worship or in other places. It is about finding them a forever home. And the pandemic has certainly shown Family Promise and all of us how important it is for people to have forever homes. So let's listen to this story of hope and celebration. When Ramona came to Family Promise, she couldn't smile, she couldn't be herself. Now I can breathe. Amen. Amen. Thanks be to God, and thanks for your generosity tonight. I'm going to turn it back over to Michael.
Now, if you will please stand, grab your program and open it up, and you will see on the right panel one of the days of the 12 days of Christmas. Traditionally, when this is done over in Dickens Inn, there are round tables where everyone's sitting. At each of those tables is a picture of one of these days. That means that everyone at that table has to stand when their day comes up and act out their day. I need you to sit down, actually. I don't know why I had you stand. Sorry. Because we were singing. I don't know. So, in order to kind of do a little bit of that, each of you has a different day printed in your program. So your neighbor's not going to have the same one that you have. When your day comes up, you need to stand as best as you can and act out that day. So I've got 10 Lords of Leaping. You're not going to see me leap, but I'll do this. So I have to leap. 10 Lords of Leaping every time that comes up. Luckily it's 10, so it only comes up 3 times. And whoever has 12, boy, you're lucky. But before we start, we're going to hear once again from our master of the inn, Ole Nelson.
Now, Dickens Inn would simply not be complete without the influence of the 12 days of Christmas. With each table, we assigned a day. The host draws from the order in which each table can go and serve their meal. The anticipation of your table getting called adds to the fun of the evening, if not the fun of the drawer. Everyone is eager to sample the delicious food, especially the casseroles. It wouldn't be a Methodist event without casseroles, and personally, without the desserts. Music isn't just for spectators at Dickens Inn. Everyone gets into the act and enjoys the fun. Traditional Christmas carols sung by all have been a part of our tradition since the beginning, and we always sing the 12 days of Christmas. and the people at each table must stand and sing their table's verse and act it out. We enjoy selecting carols then to sing as a group. And while our great songbooks have been reprised and reprinted a few times, the majority of the songs have remained in rotation. And we always end with, "We wish you a Merry Christmas."
And Oli, if you're watching, we miss you. So, we have a special guest tonight. Last year, we did this all virtually, but this year, in order to do the 12 Days of Christmas properly, we actually have a partridge in a pear tree. Mr. Partridge, would you please come out? So anytime a partridge in a pear tree comes up, the partridge is going to stand and dance. You may sit. Are you ready?
I'm not sure.
Now, the further we get, the faster it goes. So it's going to get pretty quick at the end. Are you ready? Well done, everyone. And before we go, we have a benediction, and then we're going to sing. We wish you a Merry Christmas.
And before we benedict and have our last song, We Wish You a Merry Christmas, I must say thank you so very much again to all of you who came out tonight for our Dickens Inn Live holiday music extravaganza that would not have been possible. One more time, let's give it up for all of our amazing musicians. And of course, our Director of Music Ministry, Michael Ekblad. That's right, that's right. And you know what? We wouldn't be able to see or hear if it wasn't for the guys in the back. So Larry Rush and John Beavis. We are truly, truly grateful. And so, would you pray with me? Gracious God, music touches our hearts in a way that nothing else can. And as our spirits have been filled tonight with your love and with your joy and with your hope and with your peace, may we take it with us out into a world that is in need so much to know that you are with them, that you love them. So as we love them, may your light shine through us this season and always. And all God's people said, Amen.
There's hot cocoa and cookies outside.